I'm here today to talk to you about a relatively new movie by the name of The House That Jack Built. This is the newest work by Lance von Trier, which I'm sure most of you are aware of, is responsible for Antichrist, for example. Quite a director that's known to be a bit pretentious, a bit arty-farty. It's either a love-hate thing with him. Some people love him. Jen from Jen's Reviews from the Graves, one example, really likes him. Other people aren't so keen. Her son Christian isn't that keen. So yeah, I watched their review and was really interested to hear what they had to say. I have to watch all of it. I didn't want any spoilers before I saw the movie. I've now seen it, so I can go check that out. So anyway, The House That Jack Built is a movie starring Matt Dillon. As far as I'm concerned, probably the best acting role he's actually ever done. That's not really giving away what I thought of the movie. I thought his performance was fantastic. We also have Bruno Ganz in this as Verge, who is pretty much faceless, a voice throughout the movie. Everyone knows how much I like that sort of thing. Uma Thurman shows up in this. There is quite a large cast. I'm not going to go into loads of detail on all of them. I just want to give you a little bit of feedback about the movie. I don't want to make this too long. I'm conscious that we don't have all day to talk about this. So I thought this was a pretty important one to cover because it is a big one in the horror community. This has been cited as the best serial killer movie in years. I'm a big lover of serial killer movies done well. Silence of the Lambs is one of my favourite movies. I think it's pretty much near perfection. I was really interested to see this as it was being cited as being as good as that. So what did I think? We'll give you the rough idea. I don't want to give you... I love to go into a movie blind, so I want to give you that same opportunity if you watch my channel. If you want to know more, there are lots of reviews out there on this movie. Cody Leach did one, Jen's Reviews from the Grave did one. I'm sure Drum Dums has done, and loads of people have done this, Sinister Cinema Reviews. Loads of people that you can go and watch. I'm just going to give you a very brief synopsis. So this follows Matt Dillon as the character Jack. It's set in the 70s and it follows him over a 12-year period where he starts life as a serial killer and continues on and masters his craft. There's a lot of allegories in this. There's a lot of comparisons to art. There is, I don't want to say too much. If you know about art, if you're familiar with poetry and pieces of writing, you know there's references like to Dante's Inferno in this. You don't need to be aware of all that stuff to enjoy the movie, but if you are, there's like another added layer on here. People would say pretentiousness, arty-fartiness. Right, let me cut to the chase. I don't like arty-fartiness. I don't like when a thing tries to be clever for the sake of it. This movie's 2.5 hours long. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fantastically acted. I thought the special effects, especially for anyone that's seen it, especially the one with regard to the lady that, I don't want to say, especially the one with regard to the lady's face after he had transported her from one area to the other, that was pretty impressive. It sounds ridiculous to say this, but this movie is very dark, but is also funny. Some people may not sort of see the humour in some of the situations in this. You have to have sort of quite a dark mindset, I suppose, to find the humour in some of this. I did. And for example, I don't like a Serbian film. It was too far for me, but I know for a lot of people it wasn't. So just to give you sort of an idea, I'm not one of these people that can watch anything and not be affected by it. I'm not that way. But this one I did find funny, I did find humorous. It was really dark, it was very depressing. The whole getting inside the psyche, getting inside the mindset of the character Jack was just, that's what the movie was about to me. It was getting inside his mind. It was actually seeing inside the mind of a psychopath. And he also suffers from OCD, which just, it added a touch of hilarity to it, where he's committed a crime but his mind is obsessed that he's missed a spot of blood, that he hasn't cleaned something, and he finds himself returning over and over again to the scene to check, like, you know, you would switch a light on and off or wash your hands 5 times. This is what he's doing. He's obsessing over the scene, and there is humour in that. That sounds ridiculous. But anyway, this movie follows him going from starting off as most serial killers do, sort of blundery start, going down perfecting his craft, or as is very much put in the movie, perfecting his art, and getting more and more and more adventurous and grotesque. it culminates in him building a house, which is, you have to see the house to believe it. It is the house that Jack built. I'm not going to say anything about that, and the end scenes of this was just flabbergasting, but I will say I loved it. I will say I loved the acting. I loved the special effects. I really enjoyed the story. I liked that there was added layers and depth in this. It wasn't just a gore fest. It wasn't just a popcorn flick. I like things that make me think. I like things that disturb me to a degree. But I will say I would have liked this film to be half-hour shorter. I felt that at the end it just got daft, it got silly. I know a lot of people will disagree with me here. This is just a personal preference. It's not saying that there was anything wrong with the movie. There wasn't. It was a really, really good movie. I don't like massive comparisons to obscure art or poetry, and you know, a lot of them I did get. I knew what they were doing, but some of the scenes I know that a lot of people will watch and think, what the hell am I looking at? What is this? Who's that? What are they doing? You know, they just would put in snippets of something that make no sense unless you knew what the director was trying to poke at, and I felt that was a bit lost here at the end of it. It just rolled along beautifully for me for 2 hours, and then it just, out of left field, it was just weird, and too weird for me. So I'm really torn with this movie. I really enjoyed it. I would encourage you to watch it. I don't feel it's one that you should miss. I do feel it's one that you should give the chance to, because it is really different. It is really well done. Matt Dillon is fantastic. The direction, for the most part, it's an awesome movie. It just, if you watch it, you'll know what I'm saying. The last half hour is just, it felt different to the rest of the movie for me, and it felt like too much. It felt like, and I don't mean too much in a gory sense, so don't look forward to that. I mean too much in the sense that it just got a bit big for its boots. It did get a bit pretentious and arty-farty. That's my personal viewpoint. I'm not saying anyone that likes this is pretentious at all. It's just personally for me. I just didn't feel the end half hour fit the rest of the movie. So I'll stop waffling. Have you seen it? What did you think? I think it's a pretty interesting movie, and it's one that most horror fans should go out there and check out. Definitely, it's well worth a watch. So let me know in the comments what you thought if you've seen it. Do you want to see it? Does it sound like something you would enjoy? Are you a fan of Lance von Trier, his other stuff? Antichrist, what did you think of that one? I'd love to have a discussion with you guys about this one. Let me know in the comments what your views are. And it's over and out from Lisa Lives.